My name is Dayana Morillo, and I will be doing an artist biography on the conceptual artist Shirin Neshat. The artist's background. She was born on March 26, 1957 in Kasvin, Iran. Something notable about her, which greatly impacts her artwork, is that she was raised non-religious within her family unit. However, the town in which she grew up in and was raised in was incredibly religious, conservative town. She did immigrate to the US in 1975 to pursue an education at the California Berkeley Art Program and eventually settled in New York. She has revisited Iran in the 1990s. I believe that's 12 years or more after she first left. And when she came back, she found an environment that was completely different to what she had previously experienced, which is another facet that shows up within her artwork. The first work that I will speak about for Shirin Neshat is Women of Allah. This is a series of photographs featuring women in hijabs, many of them holding guns and staring directly into the viewer's eyes. Lots of these photos are very are portraying pictures of very strong women. The way that Shirin Neshat has posed these photos and displayed these women shows a very strong character. They're all looking directly into the eyes of the viewer or otherwise in a very dominant stance. This is the complete antithesis of what Western society and American culture has pushed upon the stereotype of what Iranian and Muslim women are or look to be. For instance, in this series of photos, there is one called Way In and Way Out. It shows the woman in prayer, and she is displayed as very graceful with a white head covering or hijab. The center woman is also staring directly into the viewer. This work is titled Faceless, and she's in a black hijab she's wearing a black hijab and she's holding a gun. The gun that she is pointing directly at the viewer and her piercing eyes are also something to take note of. And finally, in the photo on the right, this one named Identified, is in which she is also staring directly at the viewer. However, in this one, she's wearing a white hijab as well. Another thing that is prevalent within all of Shirin Neshat's photography is that she includes Farsi, which is the Persian language. She includes Farsi poetry, which is also poetry that she has chosen specifically made by women. I think something very impactful about the way she uses specifically Farsi poetry made by women is that it purposefully excludes a group of people. This, for instance, people who do not read Farsi or are unable to understand the full context of this situation. I think that is something very powerful that she does because it allows for the viewers to feel a little bit of what Shirin Neshat has felt as an outcast in which she moved into the United States and then was unable to go back home. And yet, when she did, when she was finally able to visit home, home no longer felt like hers due to the political upheaval that had been happening, and Iran turning from something where uh, beforehand it used to be very for women's liberation and a very open place to live. After the war and after the political upheaval happening, after the revolution becoming more conservative and unwelcoming of women there, she felt like an outsider in both of the worlds that she had lived in. And then this is a way for her work to reflect that as well. The next work that I will speak about is titled The Fury. This work is interesting because it is a collection of photographs and then also a video. So in the way that this is in the exhibit, it is a video of a woman dancing and being watched by soldiers. She is also has been abused in this film, and it is clear to see she's dancing and she looks quite gorgeous in the video. However, when you look into her expression and you look into the way she acts for the rest of the video as well, she is clearly either hiding something and asking for help, and she is not able to receive it. And then there is also a series of photographs of women who have been sexually abused naked. And I feel like this is also a powerful statement in which it is showing women of all different body types and all different nationalities. And this is also considered one of Shirin Neshat's most political works. The third work I will be speaking about is called Turbulent. This is a video that is meant to be watched. You're sitting between two large screens. On one screen is the woman, and on the left is the man. Um, this is another very powerful piece in which the man is singing in a more traditional way. However, he is in an audience being listened to by other men, and at the end, when he's done singing, they clap for him as well. However, while he is singing, the woman on the other side of him, on the other screen, she is completely solitary. She's facing a crowd of nobody. No one is listening to her, and she's also seems to be shrouded in darkness. While it's a complete disparity between what's going on in the man's video as well. Furthermore, her singing is um, much more raw and less traditionally pretty to hear. It is something that is very emotional and very jarring. How and one would say it's much more powerful than the man's voice. However, no one is really listening to her. And another thing I think is very significant about this piece is where the viewer is to be sitting in between these two screens, which creates discomfort because the viewer needs to choose who to look at in the entire duration of this film. I will also be speaking about The Land of Dreams. This is also a series of photographs created by Shirin Neshat and also a film. This is another thing that Shirin Neshat does a lot. She combines all different kinds of media to create an atmosphere. In this one, the main character is asking people in a society what their dreams are. And then as she's discovering these things about people, um, the people respond and tell her their dreams, and they realize that what their dreams are is also where the most terrifying things live. This is like a commentary on the American dream and how it is unachievable for many. And furthermore, the land that she creates, the atmosphere she creates within the film, is very kind of ambiguous. You can't really tell if it is an American landscape or if it's an Iranian landscape, as it constantly switches between the two. And finally, I will speak about Women Without Men. This is a full-length film created by Shirin Neshat within a Sundance company or an indie movie company. In this film, we explore the lives of three different women. Munis, who is the main character, Darin. She's seen at the top left, while Munis is on the bottom right, and Foze, which is on the top right. These three women all go through stages in which they are being belittled by men or stopped by men in some way. And yet, in some of the film, it is easy to see how once they are separated from that environment and placed in a new one, in which all they have is camaraderie with other women, it is something quite beautiful to see. I do see this film that fully places itself into the atmosphere of being these women. It is also not in a very it is not told, the story is not told in a very linear fashion. It is very much an art piece. It is not your regular film. Like, it doesn't flow linearly, and it almost feels like a memory when you're watching it. It is another thing, another part of her works that I have found astounding. And finally, this is my references for the works cited page.